gonna do a late mid-year wrap-up. Do you want to say hi? Are you gonna leave me alone now? It's not really mid-year, it's like 8-month wrap-up. First off, we're gonna talk about series I read this year, or series I started. I have a lot more than I thought. Okay, let's start with like graphic novels. Heartstopper series, 1 through 4, because 5 is coming out this fall, I think. Pretty freaking good. The first one you're like, okay, and they start getting into like more problems, you know, and it definitely deals with heavier topics than I thought, because you're like, oh, this is a cutesy little book. And I watched the show already, and I didn't really realize like how deep of issues it talks about. And like, obviously it talks about coming out, talks about, you know, the prejudice people have against people part of that community and all that, but it also talks about like eating disorders and mental health disorders, and I had like no idea it talked about that. 5-star series for sure. The next one is Lure Olympus. I have 1 through 4. Still confused if there's a 5th one. I know there's at least going to be. I don't know if there is though. Look at this artwork, dude. It's so cute. I will say the first one especially is so confusing, I feel like, at first. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th aren't nearly as confusing. I'm glad I kept reading it. That was, I think, a 4-star series, maybe 3.5. I'm just gonna go 4. The next series I read, Inheritance Game series. I actually hadn't read this yet. I'm kind of like getting back into reading this year. So there's a lot of like popular books and popular series that I'm very behind on. This is one of the first series I will recommend to anyone. First of all, I think the short chapters make it so easy for even people who are non-readers. I will say there's some parts where I was like, what is happening? Especially in, I think the 3rd one. Like, no, literally what is happening? I lost track. But still, 4, maybe 5-star series. I would say 4.25 star series. Next one. Y'all are gonna laugh at me. Selection. I know this series is objectively not good. I feel like my rating of this is going to make everything else I say in this video completely unreliable. This is like a 4.5 star series for me. I cried at the last one. Like, it got so much more intense than I thought it was going to get. It's just like a fun read, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, there are some high stakes, especially the last like 50 pages of the last one. I was like, what just happened? I don't know. I liked it a lot. It's just such a nice series. This year, I was introduced to the world of Emily Henry. I can never read a romance book the same. It is so refreshing to have romance books that aren't just about romance. Because I feel like whenever I read a romance book, once they get together, I'm like, why am I still reading this book? I have never felt that way about Emily Henry's books. I will say, I think Book Lovers, y'all are gonna kill me. I think Book Lovers is my least favorite one. I'm so sorry. This one, I was like, oh my god, nothing can beat this. This is fantastic, 5-star read instantly. Then she just had to drop this masterpiece. Huh? Like, I want to reread it already. I'm gonna get the UK options. The UK paperback options of these. This book, I can't ever settle for anything less. Such a good book. Cannot wait for her next book. So now we'll go into the classics I've read this year. I did quotes around the classics because I read children's classics. So like Little Women is coming up soon. Peter Pan I want to read Picture of Dorian Gray soon, but that's an adult classic, so I don't know if I can. But anywho, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, pretty good. I mean, just the art is beautiful. I would say that was like 3 stars. Secret Garden, I grew up on this movie, and I realized one time at Barnes & Noble, I was like, I've never read the book. I'd say this one 4 stars. It was pretty good. Like, can't complain, you know? My 5-star classic, if you want to call it, Winnie the Pooh. I never saw this coming. I just thought it was a beautiful addition. And I mean, like, the artwork is just so nostalgic. Like, look at that. It has 10... Okay. It has 10 short stories. I was, like, laughing out loud. So funny. Read it in, like, 2 hours, if that. Such a lighthearted, fun buffer book, you know? By a Thread. It was so good. I don't fully remember. I know there's some control issues that was, like, it was a little problematic, I can't lie. Like, there were some parts where I was like, maybe this isn't necessarily a healthy relationship. But I will say, it was still a 5-star read. Just, like, giggling, kicking my feet the entire freaking time. Butterflies, could not put it down. It was really good. Next up, Better Than the Movie. So I actually read this because It's Haley Pham's like favorite book. It's just so adorable. I started tabbing it, which was my first time, and I only got through to page 64 by doing that because I was flying and I didn't want to get my tabs out on Frontier's tiny ass planes, so I just stopped tabbing it. But this book is so good. I thoroughly enjoy it. And you know what's so silly about this book? I can't really tell you anything that happens besides the ending. Yeah, I literally... Okay, no, I remember more now. All I remember is like the vibes. It was such good feelings and I really enjoyed it. It was really what I needed for the time being. One that caught me by surprise, and that's Tweet Cute. Honestly, the name's kind of grown on me. I just remember I got so many butterflies while reading this, and that's what I look for in a romance. So that one was another, I believe, 5-star read. Next up, I'm not gonna get them out. The ACOTAR series, I read only 2 of them. I read ACOTAR and ACOMAF. Court of Mist and Fury, how is she gonna beat that? How? Honestly, I'm just nervous to read A Court of Wings and Ruin because what if it's not as good? What do I do then? So far, the first 2, instantly 5 stars. Instantly, right off the get-go. Amazing. That covered most of my like 5 or like high star reads. Some of my low star reads. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I just did not like this. Oh, they're in a cute little cafe. No, it's a cafe in a basement that is made of concrete that has no windows. And I was like, ow, I feel like I'm in a jail cell. It wasn't that deep or pathetic to me either. Pathetic. It was kind of surface level. Next up, one of my least favorites was this book. I can't, you know, the format of this book, I do not like it. It made it so difficult to read for me. I really enjoyed The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo because she was interviewing her, but it was still like in a book format. I feel like this felt like I was reading a newspaper article for 370 pages. I did not like it. Okay, so I read I read Red, White, and Royal Blue. I know the movie's coming out, and I'm honestly excited for the movie. I feel like I would like the movie. Just the book, it was not my favorite. I don't even know why I didn't like it. I think it was objectively a good book. I just didn't enjoy it personally. That's definitely what that one felt like for me. In Daisy Jones and the Six, it just felt like they weren't personally for me. It was mid. I always feel bad saying I don't like these books because that's my opinion. You can like love these books and I understand. Like I cannot shame you for liking these books because I get it. Like I wish I liked these books, just sometimes it's based on like how it makes me feel, or it's based on like my, like I know it's a specific opinion, if that makes sense. Stop. I still appreciate these authors and appreciate what they do, even if it wasn't my type of book, you know? So yeah, we'll see you guys around town. I don't know why I said that.